Breaking news. The Falcons might actually trade Kyle Pitts. Yes, you heard that right. The player once seen as the future of Atlanta, a top 4 draft pick, a rare talent, a Pro Bowl tight end, could be on his way out. Fans are shocked. The locker room is silent. And the NFL world is buzzing. How did we get here? Why now? And most importantly, what does this mean for the future of the Atlanta Falcons? Stay with us, because this story could change everything. Now I'll rewrite the first section with more detail, emotion, and energy using simple English so it's easy to understand, but still feels powerful and dramatic. Are we really going through this again? Just when it felt like the drama around the Atlanta Falcons was calming down, boom! A new report explodes and brings the biggest question back to life. What's really going on with Kyle Pitts? Is he staying with the Falcons? Or could he be leaving? This isn't just another rumor, this is serious. One of the most trusted voices in the NFL, Adam Schefter from ESPN, has dropped a report that's shaking up the entire league. According to Schefter, teams are now calling the Falcons to ask about a trade for Kyle Pitts. Let that sink in. Teams from all over the league are calling. They're not just asking politely, they're seriously interested in getting Pitts on their roster. Now let's be clear, the Falcons are not actively trying to trade him. They're not pushing him out the door. But, and this is important, they're listening. They're answering the calls. They're hearing the offers, and they're not shutting it down. That's a huge change. A team doesn't listen to trade offers for a player like Kyle Pitts unless they're at least thinking about what life would look like without him. Why are teams so interested? Even though Pitts has had an up-and-down time since his incredible rookie year, the talent is still there. And it's real. He's not just a tight end, he's a rare athlete. He runs like a wide receiver. He's fast, big, strong, and when he's locked in, he's nearly impossible to guard. And here's the kicker. He's only 24 years old. That means his best football could still be ahead. Teams are watching his highlights, the insane catches, the games where he takes over, and they believe. They believe he could still be the star he was meant to be. And maybe, just maybe, they believe that with the right system, the right coach, and the right quarterback, he could become unstoppable. Imagine this. A team believes they can unlock the real Kyle Pitts, the one who dominates every game, not just flashes of greatness. That's what's driving all this trade interest. Even if Pitts hasn't lived up to the full hype, his natural talent is still incredible. Teams believe the right system could turn him into a star again. But let's flip the script and talk about the Falcons side of this story. They didn't draft Kyle Pitts at number 4 overall just to trade him away for peanuts. They saw him as a long-term weapon, a future leader of the offense. So if another team wants him, they better come with a big offer. Adam Schefter's report makes it clear. The Falcons aren't giving him away. They're not desperate. But they are willing to listen. And if the right deal comes along, a deal that gives them strong value in return, they might actually say yes. This isn't some bargain bin trade. This is high stakes. If a team wants Pitts, they'll have to pay big, because Atlanta still sees the potential in him, even with the struggles. But here's the big roadblock: money. Kyle Pitts is set to make around $11 million this season, and next year, that number stays high, over $10 million, because the Falcons already picked up his 5th-year option. So now any team thinking about trading for him has to ask 2 huge questions. Do we want to give Atlanta a big trade package? Are we ready to take on that big contract for a player who hasn't been elite since his rookie year? That's a tough sell. Even Adam Schefter said, "I don't know how many teams are lining up to pay both the Falcons and Kyle Pitts what it would take." This is the cold part of the NFL, the business side. Big contracts, tight salary caps, risk versus reward. Right now, teams see Pitts as a player with high upside, but also high risk. They're probably hoping to get him cheap. Meanwhile, the Falcons? They're standing firm. They want a trade value that matches what he could become, not what he's done lately. That gap between what teams are offering and what the Falcons want, that's the biggest thing standing in the way of a deal. Let's talk about why this situation is so frustrating and so emotional for Falcons fans. Back in 2021, Kyle Pitts was a rookie sensation. He caught 68 passes, gained over 1,000 yards, and even made the Pro Bowl. It felt like Atlanta had found a game-changing weapon, someone who could lead the offense for years. But since then, the numbers have dropped. A lot. In 2024, Pitts played every single game, all 17 of them, but he finished with only 47 catches, 602 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Very average stats for a player with superstar potential. And it wasn't just this year. Last season looked the same. So what happened? Well, part of the story is the quarterback situation in Atlanta. It's been a mess. Inconsistent quarterbacks can make life really hard for pass catchers. It's tough to put up big numbers when the ball isn't coming your way, or isn't accurate when it does. But to be fair, Pitts hasn't been perfect either. There have been mistakes. There have been drops. He's had moments in big games where he disappeared or just couldn't make the play when it mattered. It's a complicated situation. Some of the blame goes to the quarterback, some goes to the offensive scheme, and some goes to Pitts. The Falcons drafted him to be the main weapon in their passing game, but that dream hasn't become reality, at least not yet. Still, the Falcons picked up his fifth-year option. That means they still believe in him, at least enough to give him one more chance. But the fact that they're even answering trade calls tells you something big. It tells you they're not sure he's the future anymore. So where does this leave us? Right now, Kyle Pitts is available, but not on sale. If a team wants him, they'll need to make a strong offer. And teams are interested. Why? Because he's only 24 years old and his potential is still sky high. But here's the challenge. The Falcons want top value. Other teams might not be willing to pay that much, especially for a player with average stats and a big contract. This is where everything gets interesting. Will a team step up with an offer so good the Falcons can't say no? Or will Pitts stay in Atlanta, hoping that a new quarterback and a fresh system finally bring out the Pro Bowl player he was meant to be? This story isn't over. In fact, it's just getting started, and it might just be the biggest headline of the Falcons' offseason. Your turn. What do you think? Should the Falcons trade Kyle Pitts? And if so, what would you want in return? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get the fan debate started.